Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Pimp My Side. We're at round 9, the eye of the SuperCoach by storm. My name's Sam Edmund. Now, the man next to me has been a little bit flat this week, but just off air, Jay, you said you still got the magic, haven't you? So, you're here to help us all. How are you feeling?
Always excited, Sam, especially when it comes to SuperCoach and me beating you this weekend. That's what gets me really up and about.
Who are we meeting? Wow. Okay, well, I might have to switch on then. I might have to think about not divulging my secrets, so you caught me off guard. Before we get into what is an intriguing week of potential ins to our SuperCoach side and sacrificing, let's quickly run through the ins and the outs because there's some pertinent ones. The ins quickly, folks. Swallow at North Melbourne finally makes his return. Clay Beams is a good one, Jay. 183k midfielder for the Brisbane Lions we could look at in a couple of weeks. Bell Chambers, Brandon Jack, Buse the son of, and Ben Lennon in for the Tigers. 160k forward, could also be enticing in a few weeks. The outs are Gleeson at Essendon, if you've got him, probably time to get rid of him. Benny McGlean, owned by a certain Mick Warner, has the flu. Nick Roberts, this one hurts for the Brisbane Lions, not playing this weekend. Cade Kolodashny and Tom Nichols out for the Gold Coast. Let's cut to the chase. If you're not making 3 trades this week, you're not fair dinkum, are you? What are you doing?
Well, as you said, Robertson does hurt because I was planning previously to get rid of Dunstan, but now that means I'm going to have to keep Dunstan, and to get a full side, get rid of Robinson. But the big question is, who do you upgrade to, Sam? Now, you're obviously going to do it to one of the sides which had the bye last week, so is it they're not going to miss out the next 2 weeks?
This side right here, Jay, ignore your initial, that's personalised to you, but the emblem beneath that says Geelong Cats.
Yes.
And I look no further than both of the men. Joel Selwood and Jimmy Bartell, welcome to With the Wind.
What about the Crowley factor? I mean, teams go over there and that annoying, very good tagger, Ryan Crowley. If he goes to Joel Selwood, if he goes to Steve Johnson, you walk into a bear trap, Sam, because you want the players who you bring in immediately to go well first up.
With all due respect to Ryan Crowley, is it a bear trap this season or is it more of your mouse trap, sort of plastic? I can't
Still
think.
hurts.
He hasn't had a great effect this
hurt.
year. I think a lot of his victims or previous victims have got off the leash. And secondly, I'm not sure if you don't bring a player in just because they're playing Fremantle this week. It's a long season. And I'll look at those Geelong players now, injury and suspension permitting, they're going to play the full season. Can't quite make the full journey to Steve Johnson, but I'm going to go those 2 blokes. You've had your eye on Dane Swan.
Yeah, I do. And Joel Selwood, Dane Swan is a very hard call to make. But Joel Selwood, 550, he scored a few 80s this week. He's
last
very
3.
selfless. He's sort of been right up there or struggling. I think Swan is going to provide more consistency at 550 throughout the year. Absolute superstar ball winner. And I cast my eye to round 23, which is the SuperCoach Grand Final. Collingwood has Hawthorn. You know Dane Swan is playing in that game. Joel Selwood, Geelong captain on the other hand, they play Brisbane down at the Cattery. And you know when you play a soft side like Brisbane, the coaches like to switch their teams around, Sam.
Just when I thought you'd lost interest, you fire with the massive amount of research. How many pies is too many pies? I imagine you've got Pendlebury and Beams, as most of us do.
Yep.
Do we then bring in a 3rd premium Collingwood player?
Well, it's
into our midfield.
It's nearly the number 1 midfield in the game at the moment, and they're absolutely all flying. So there is still one more bye to go, obviously, which will hurt you that week. But I see no problem with that when you're talking about bona fide A-graders, Sam.
Now, when you bring in those guns, something has to give.
Yep.
A, you have to punt blokes, and secondly, you might need to make some money unless you've just been stuffing it under the mattress savagely for the last few weeks. Let's go to the guys you have to get rid of. Who's on the nose?
As I said, Dad, was Dunstan. Now that becomes Robertson.
Dale Thomas?
Dale Thomas is
Has to
absolutely
go.
out of my side. The role he's playing, Sam, with all this sort of tagging, negative, sort of this sort of stuff, you want him. Remember
He was brilliant, said Mick. Fabulous.
Mid-season last year, before we all got him in, I think about round 8 and 9, he had 40 possessions for Collingwood. That was with the bung ankles. So we want that sort of stuff.
Having said that, he's done all right.
Stuff.
It's a slow burn, but at least he's made your money. But the break even this week's up around the 90
Been an
mark.
absolute massive fail.
Time to go.
Dale Thomas for my SuperCoach
massive
side.
fail. That's a big call. Luke McDonald for mine is also going to go. He might be the man who makes way for you, Jimmy Bartell, or your established defender. Harry Cunningham as well, for those of us that have him in the midfield.
Never had him in.
Matty Suckling?
Never will have him in.
Shut your mouth. Matty Suckling?
No, he can score big. He scores 120s with a downhill skiing type. When Hawthorn goes well, he scores really big. Now, off camera, you said that you might consider bringing in Buddy. Please explain.
Well, not for this week, obviously. They have the bye in round 10, the last of the sides to do so. But post that, he has to be very appetising. He's under 400,000 at the moment. And I just saw signs of life, obvious signs of life against the Hawks. Just we tip it back in the side, Goods running around, Ben Reid. I think he's going to slot in there very nicely. I can easily see him averaging 100 for the rest of the year, and he's an absolute bargain. And not a big jump for someone like Lewis Taylor to Buddy Franklin. But back to this week, Jay. if you have to get in, the cash cows aren't exactly roaming wild this year.
No.
If you had to make a bit of coin this week, who do you like?
Joel Tippett in the back line,
Yeah.
North Melbourne. Spud Ferrito's lost his place to old Tippety Boo this week. Not a big ball winner. It's desperation stakes, probably. So he's the one that stands out. But Blake Acres
He's the man, I think.
59 and 90 odd when he was subbed off, average of 70, break even of minus 70 something. I think just a no-brainer to get Blake Acres in this week.
Yeah, he's projected to rise 65,000. Joel Tippett projected to rise only to 21,000. And another man, they've got the bye this week, but if you really stretch, you need a downgrade target in the midfield. Another one, Hartung at Hawthorn. Just with Hawthorn's injuries, you'd like to think, Al Clarkson, please, that he would get his third game after their bye. So there you go. Captain, obvious one. Vice captain?
I think tonight, I know it's after the fact, you'll be watching this in the morning. I think Pendlebury tonight, Adelaide Oval.
Yep, and the captain on obviously Gary Ablett.
Yes.
Thank you for telling me that. I might change my plans. Best luck to your side this week at SuperCoach at round 9. Hoping you're coping with the buys, and we'll see you back here for the last of them in round 10.